and I don't really need him to help. I'm in a financial situation where I don't need his help.
Going to order child support based on minimum wage.
I know he makes more than minimum wage.
Addington, do you know why he's not here today?
Do you want the honest answer?
Yes.
He just didn't want to.
But he knew about it?
Yes, he knew. I sent him the Zoom link, and then he told me to tell y'all to call him, and I was like, they're not going to call you. It's your responsibility to be here.
We're here to talk about your son, Kingston Humphrey. Is that correct?
We did a name change, so it's Kingston Lee Addington dash Humphrey. So we added Addington to the beginning.
You did that after the acknowledgement of paternity was signed, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Who is Kingston's father?
Spencer Cade Humphrey.
Does he visit with Kingston?
Not very often. I bring them out to his house or his mom's house whenever he asks to call to see him. And I bring him for like 4 hours or so, but I never leave him there overnight or anything. Kingston's never stayed the night there. Kingston's not comfortable staying the night anywhere. So I don't want to do the standard visitation because Kingston's never done that. And Spencer filed this 4 years ago when we split and I left his house out of spite. There were the incidents when the reason I left was because he hit me in the mouth. So he filed this, I guess, in a way to just be spiteful. And I didn't want to do any of this because we've been doing the visitation like this for 4 years and it's been fine. And every other holiday.
How have you been doing the visitation? Like on holidays?
On holidays, one morning I'll bring him to his family's holiday, and then the next holiday I'll bring him in the afternoon. So we split the holidays, but I bring them every time and I don't leave them.
And has he requested to have visitation by himself?
No, I've offered a couple times and he was like, no, I just rather you stay. He doesn't really help at all, and I don't really need him to help. I'm in a financial situation where I don't need his help, and he's kind of struggling and he just doesn't care. And Kingston's stepdad is the one who helps, and it's really basically his dad.
And is that your husband?
We're common law married, but we're getting married this September to official it.
Okay. How is Kingston covered for health insurance?
He has Medicaid.
Are you requesting back child support or just to start from here?
I'm not requesting anything. I don't want anything from him. No, ma'am.
Now, how are you requesting that the visitation take place?
Just how it is. Basically, every other weekend, he has the opportunity to visit with Kingston for a day, and I'll bring him out there for a day, and then I bring him right back home.
Do you have any safety concerns with Mr. Humphrey?
I mean, he's been physical in the past, but not since we broke up, so I don't think so.
So everything has calmed down since the two of you broke up?
Yeah, he hasn't been physical. We still do fight, but he knows if he was to do something like that again, that I would press charges and put him in jail. So he refrains of any of those actions.
Do you know if he has any other minor children?
He does not.
I'd pass the witness, Your Honor.
And I know you're not requesting child support, but do you know if he's working?
He is working. I don't know how much he makes. I just know he works at some plant or refinery in Baytown, but I don't know the name.
You know what he does at the plant?
Helper. I think a boiler maker or a pipe fitter helper or something like that.
Do you have anything further, Ms. Bronzito?
I do not. I will just tell the court I do not have any proof of wages, which is why I do not have a child support officer here to testify as to that.
And Ms. Addington, the state doesn't represent you. Is there anything else you'd like?
I don't think so.
I am going to find Mr. Humphrey in default. Does he help out at all with making decisions? Like, do you all talk if something big came up, or has he not been involved for the last 6 years?
He's not really involved. He's kind of just like, let him know if something happens. I've asked like him to, help out with something, and it's just like, well, I'm broke and I don't have it.
Well, I don't mean financially. I mean, like if something, like if a big medical issue came up, you'd call him and discuss it, right?
Yeah, I would call him.
And if something like educational came up, like, either could be good or bad, where a decision had to be made, would you reach out to him?
Yeah, I would. No, I try to keep him up to date as possible. What's going on with Kingston?
I'm going to appoint Ms. Addington and Mr. Humphrey, joint managing conservators, with her having the right to determine the primary residence.
Will I be able to move out of this county?
Are you planning on moving?
I was thinking about moving to Jefferson County in Fannett or Hampshire. I mean, it's not far from where I'm at now, but
So I'm going to order that you have the right to determine the primary residence within Chambers or any contiguous county to Chambers. For visitation, I'm going to order that he have visits on the first, third, and fifth Sunday. I think he preferred first, third, and fifth Sunday of the month from 1 to 5 p.m. Those visits to occur at his mother's house, you said?
yes.
And they'll be supervised by either his mother or you or a competent adult designated.
Oh, I do not want
Don't
his
stay?
mother.
I'm sorry?
I don't want his mother to be a supervised because when she gets home, she drinks.
Okay, I'm gonna have him supervised by you or a competent adult designated by you.
Okay.
And you're responsible for driving the child, for picking up and returning. And then I'm going to order child support based on minimum wage. Did you have a specific cash medical request? Ms. Franzetta?
$25, Your Honor.
And I'll order him to pay cash medical of $25 each month, beginning March
Beginning
1st.
March. Okay, thank you. Court costs by July 31st, Judge?
Yes, and he is ordered to pay court costs by July 31st, 2024. And I'm
So he's
finding-
gonna have to pay child support?
Yes, I believe that parents should support their children. I'm not going to order any back child support. If I didn't already, I'm denying the request for retroactive child support. And I'm denying the request for non-disclosure.
I know he makes more than minimum wage. I think he makes like
probably
40.
does.
He makes like 40 something a year, I believe. I think he's making like 18 an hour, 17.
Ms. Franzetta, do you want to elicit testimony on this?
Have you talked with Mr. Humphrey about what his income is?
I did his taxes a year ago and he made like 40 something. I think it's like 43, but I don't know what it is dollar amount.
And has he talked to you about what his income is now? Is he still working for the same place?
Yes, ma'am. He's still working the same place.
He was making 43,000 last year.
Mm-hmm. I think
Was that gross or net?
that is like it says wages, tips, and it's like the number one. I guess that would be gross, or maybe I don't know if it's gross or what it comes from.
That
You
was
can
his on his
pull up
W-2s.
it on the. Yes. Do I need to pull them up? I can pull it up on the app and get the exact amount if you need that.
He asked you to do his taxes. He gave you these documents.
Yes, ma'am.
So that would be 3583 gross a month, Judge.
Did he get a W-2, ma'am, or was it a different document?
It was a W-2.
I wonder why you all don't have.
I don't know why, but he's not coming up in the system, Judge.
Let me go find the password real fast.
I wonder if it's a social security. Sometimes like a number gets off on the social security number, if you or them. I wonder if it's that.
I have his social if you need his social.
Don't say it on Zoom, on YouTube.
Okay.
Yes, I'd like to verify
Information.
social so that I can make sure, and I don't want to do that over YouTube.
Please don't do that.
That was just a year ago, and if he's working for the same place, we may very well have a wrong number. That may be why we came up wrong.
He must have changed the password because I gave him the information last year so he could do it all because he was only getting like $26 back. So he thought I was trying to scam him, but I guess he changed the password. But I do know he made like 40 something last year. I don't think he emailed it to me.
And Ms. Franzetta, are you still asking for $25 cash medical?
No, Your Honor, I'd be asking for 100.
I'm going to revise my ruling in light of the testimony. I'm going to find his monthly gross. I'm doing it at 40,000 just in case, since it was a little iffy. But it sounds like he made at least 40,000 last year, which is significantly more than minimum wage. So I'm going to find his monthly gross to be $3,333. I'm going to order that Mr. Humphrey pay cash medical of $100 per month, beginning March 1st of 2024. He has no other children and there's one child before me. So 20% of the net resources, which are $2,743.39. 20% of that would be $549 rounding. So I'm going to order that he pay child support of $549 beginning March 1st of 2024.
What happens
I'm
if
sorry?
he can't afford it or pay for it?
based on the testimony you presented, he should be able to. This is based on presumptions in the family code. Is there anything unusual going on with him?
He tells
That
me that
would-
he's always broke. I don't know exactly why, but he's always broke, he says.
Did you say $100 medical?
Yes. Do you have any concerns, ma'am, or doubts that he's still earning at least 40,000 each year based on your personal knowledge?
I don't doubt it. I mean, even if y'all could look it up, if it has to be amended later on, if he does make less, but I guarantee he's always made like 40 something.
So yes, that is my ruling, the amended ruling on the child support issues. Just so you know, ma'am, and feel free to tell him, I'm an associate judge, so have the right to a de novo hearing before the referring court regarding any decision made by me. So if he regrets his decision of not showing today, he could do that route. He also could consult a lawyer about other ways regarding this matter. But the Attorney General's office is going to draft an order based on my ruling today, and they'll be sending it to me to review and sign off on. And then they'll send you a copy for your record.
How long have you worked at Primoris, Mr. Crowley?
Probably about a week now. This week will be my second week.
Where were you employed before Primoris?
I worked at McDonald's.
So have you had a week that you've received overtime yet?
Oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
But you're guaranteed right now 50 hours per week.
Yes, ma'am.
That calculation is based on what you testified to as to what your income was going to be at the bare minimum of 50 hours a week. And I
Yes,
know
ma'am.
you've only been there for a week,
So what would be withdrawn from my paycheck?
about $316.
Why do I gotta pay child support? Like she don't want child support. Like
Okay.
I provide for my children, and I don't think I should be subject to pay $300 a week for my children when I'm an active parent in my kid's life. I see them every day. Like I have my 3-year-old as we speak.